Easy English Talk Podcast.
Hello, my amazing listeners, and welcome to the Easy English Talk Podcast. My name is Jack, and I am here with you every single day to help you on your English learning journey. I know learning a new language is not always easy, but every little step you take makes a difference. Today, we are going to dive into something that so many learners struggle with: how to improve English pronunciation step by step. And let me just say, if you've ever felt shy, embarrassed, or even frustrated about the way you pronounce words in English, you are not alone. I have taught thousands of learners, and every single one of them has felt this way at some point. But the good news is, pronunciation can be improved. It is not a fixed thing. With patience, practice, and the right steps, you can shape your voice into a clearer, more confident sound. So, where do we even begin when we talk about improving pronunciation? Well, the first step is awareness. You cannot change what you don't notice. Imagine you're trying to fix a song on the guitar, but you don't hear that a string is out of tune. How could you correct it? The same is true for your voice. Becoming aware of the way you pronounce English sounds is the foundation of improvement. One way you can do this is by listening to yourself. Yes, I know, sometimes listening to our own voices can feel a little strange or even uncomfortable, but trust me, it works wonders. Record yourself reading a short paragraph in English, then play it back. Compare your recording to how a native speaker says the same words. At first, you may notice big differences, and that might feel discouraging. But let me tell you, this is not failure. This is progress, because now you can actually see where the work needs to be done. Every time you notice one small difference, you have found a key to improvement. Now, you may be wondering, how do we move from awareness to actual change? Well, the next step is focusing on individual sounds. English has many sounds that might not exist in your native language, and that's where learners often stumble. For example, the th sound in words like think or this can be very tricky. Many learners replace it with a T or D sound, saying tink instead of think, or dis instead of this. And while people may still understand you, the difference is noticeable, and it can sometimes make you feel self-conscious. Here's what you can do. Take one sound at a time. Place your tongue between your teeth gently, blow out a little air, and practice th. Shadow me if you'd like. Think, think, think. Now try this, this, this. It feels a little silly at first, I know. Laugh softly, but silly is good. Silly is how our muscles learn. Pronunciation is not only about sound, it's about training your mouth muscles to move in new ways. Another key area is stress and rhythm. Have you ever noticed how English sometimes feels like music? That's because English is a stress-timed language. Certain words or syllables are stressed more strongly, while others are softer and quicker. If you say every word with equal weight, it can sound robotic or unnatural, even if your individual sounds are correct. For instance, in the sentence, "I want to go to the market," a native speaker naturally stresses want and market, while the little words to and the are lighter. Try saying it with me. I want to go to the market. Do you hear the rhythm? It's like a heartbeat. When you learn to feel the rhythm of English, suddenly your sentences start flowing and people understand you more easily. But I know what you might be thinking right now. Jack, I've been practicing for months and I still don't sound like a native speaker. And here's where I want to pause and really connect with you. My dear listener, your goal should never be perfection, and it should never be to erase your accent completely. Your accent is a part of who you are. It carries your history, your identity, your culture. You do not need to sound exactly like someone born in London or New York in order to be a great English speaker. What matters is clarity, being understood. And the beauty is you can improve clarity without losing yourself. Please never let anyone tell you that your accent makes you less. It makes you unique, and your voice deserves to be heard. Now, one of the most powerful ways to practice pronunciation is shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to a native speaker and try to speak along with them at the same time, almost like you're their echo. You don't pause and then repeat, you flow together. At first, it feels hard because your brain is trying to listen and speak at the same time. But slowly, your mouth starts copying the rhythm, the sounds, and even the music of English without you forcing it. It's a bit like learning to dance by dancing with a partner instead of only watching them. So the next time you listen to a podcast, or even this one, pick 1 minute of audio, replay it, and shadow along. You'll be amazed at how quickly your mouth begins to adapt.
And let me share something personal with you. I once taught a student who was so shy that she whispered her English words in class because she hated how she sounded. She told me, "Jack, I feel stupid when I speak." That broke my heart. But we worked together, little by little. She recorded her voice, practiced sounds, learned rhythm, and tried shadowing. Months later, she spoke up confidently in front of others. She didn't lose her accent, but she gained courage. And when she saw people understanding her clearly, her whole face lit up. That is the power of pronunciation. It's not just about sound. It's about confidence, courage, and connection. So let's talk about practice habits, because without consistency, nothing changes. If you want to improve your pronunciation step by step, you must treat it like learning an instrument or training your body. Short, regular practice works much better than long, irregular practice. Just 10 minutes a day of focused pronunciation work is more powerful than 1 hour once a week. Why? Because your mouth muscles need regular exercise. You wouldn't expect to build strong arms by lifting weights only once a month, right? The same is true for your tongue, your lips, your jaw. Every time you practice, you're building strength and memory in those muscles. And here's something important. Don't only practice alone. Use your pronunciation in real conversations. Find a language partner, a teacher, or even talk to yourself out loud in English as you cook or clean or walk. Speaking in real-life situations forces you to use your pronunciation under pressure, and that's where real growth happens. Yes, you'll make mistakes. I still make mistakes when I try to speak other languages. But every mistake is proof that you are trying, and every attempt makes you stronger. I want you to pause for a moment and feel proud of yourself. Truly, take a breath with me right now. You are here, listening, practicing, learning. Do you realize how many people in the world dream of speaking another language but never take action? Yet here you are, showing up step by step. That is courage, that is growth, and that deserves celebration. Please, never underestimate how far you've already come. And this brings us to something many learners ignore, the emotional side of pronunciation. It's not only about technique, it's about how you feel when you speak. If you are tense, anxious, or afraid of mistakes, your mouth tightens, your voice shakes, and your pronunciation suffers. But when you relax, smile, and let yourself enjoy the sound of English, suddenly your voice flows more easily. Try this experiment with me. Say the word hello with a big smile on your face. Go ahead, say it. Notice how it sounds brighter and friendlier. Your emotions shape your sounds. So give yourself permission to enjoy speaking English, to laugh at mistakes, and to celebrate progress. When you do, pronunciation stops being a painful challenge and becomes a joyful practice. And now, my wonderful listeners, I want to leave you with this thought as we pause here. Improving pronunciation is not about becoming perfect tomorrow. It's about small daily victories that build a future where your voice feels free, confident, and strong. So the next time you open your mouth to speak in English, remember, you are not just practicing sounds, you are building bridges to the world. Keep going, my dear friends. Keep shining. And I will be right here with you again in the next part of our journey. So, the next time you open your mouth to speak in English, remember, you are not just practicing sounds, you are building bridges to the world. Keep going, my dear friends. Keep shining. And I will be right here with you again in the next part of our journey. Welcome back, my amazing listeners. This is still Jack with the Easy English Talk podcast, and we are continuing our heartfelt conversation on how to improve English pronunciation step by step. In the last part, we talked about awareness, sounds, rhythm, shadowing, and even the emotional courage it takes to practice speaking out loud. Now let's go deeper into the journey and explore how you can truly transform your pronunciation through habits, tools, and the mindset that will carry you forward. Have you ever asked yourself, why does pronunciation sometimes feel like climbing a mountain? The reason is simple. Pronunciation is not just mental learning, it's physical training. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, these are muscles that need to move in ways they might never have moved before. If your first language doesn't use the same sounds, then your mouth is like a dancer learning brand new steps. At first, it feels clumsy. You trip, you fall, you laugh at yourself. But over time, with enough practice, those movements become natural. And here's the beautiful truth. Your brain and your body are designed to adapt. You are not stuck where you are. Every practice session is a step forward up that mountain. One of the most practical tools for pronunciation is listening carefully to the tiny details of spoken English. You see, most learners hear the big picture of English. They hear the words and the general meaning, but they don't always hear the small differences in sounds. Try this. Listen to the words ship and sheep. To some learners, they sound almost the same, but the vowel sound makes a huge difference. Ship is short and quick, while sheep is long and stretched. If you mix them up, you might tell someone you're on a sheep instead of a ship. And trust me, that could create some funny misunderstandings. Training your ears to catch those differences is just as important as training your mouth to produce them. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually train my ears? The answer is through active listening. Don't just let English play in the background while you cook or scroll through your phone. Instead, choose a short audio clip, maybe 30 seconds, and listen to it again and again. Close your eyes. Focus on the sounds, the stress, the pauses, even the intonation. Then try repeating it exactly as you heard it. Not perfectly, but closely. This kind of deep listening changes the way your brain processes sound. And over time, you'll start noticing differences you never heard before. And when you hear them, you can start producing them. Another powerful technique is slowing down. Many learners think speaking fast means speaking fluently, but that's not true. When you rush, you lose control of your sounds. If you slow down, you give your tongue and lips time to form the right shapes. Imagine learning to drive. On your first day, would you race down the highway at full speed? Of course not. You'd go slowly, carefully, learning each movement until you feel safe. The same goes for English. Speak slower and let clarity be your first goal. Fluency will come naturally as you build control. And here's something that often gets overlooked. Intonation. Intonation is the music of English, the rising and falling of your voice as you speak. Without intonation, speech sounds flat and robotic. For example, if I say, "Really?" with a rising intonation, it shows surprise. If I say, "Really?" with a flat or serious tone, it might sound bored or serious. Same word, different feeling. Practicing intonation will not only make your speech clearer, but it will also make you sound more alive, more connected, more human. And isn't that what we want? Not just to speak words, but to share emotions. Now, let's talk about the role of patience. I know some of you want quick results. You practice for a week and hope to hear a big difference. But pronunciation is like planting a tree. You water it, you give it sunlight, but the growth happens slowly, invisibly, until you see the leaves. The danger is many learners give up too soon, right before the results begin to show. Please don't give up. Stay patient. Even if you don't notice progress today, trust that your effort is building a foundation for tomorrow. And let me share another story with you. I once worked with a young man who moved to Canada. At first, people asked them to repeat himself constantly, and he felt frustrated and alone. He told me, "Jack, I feel like my voice doesn't belong here." That pain was so real. But little by little, he kept practicing. He slowed down, he recorded himself, he shadowed podcasts. Months later, when a cashier at the store understood him the first time, he said he almost cried with joy. And that moment gave him the courage to keep going. Remember, your voice belongs everywhere. The world needs to hear what you have to say. Another thing I want you to remember is that mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of growth. Think about babies learning to speak. They babble, they mispronounce, they repeat sounds endlessly. And we celebrate them, don't we? We never scold a baby for saying "wawa" instead of water. We smile, we clap, we encourage. So why not treat yourself with the same kindness? Every mispronounced word is just another step in your practice. Be gentle with yourself and keep celebrating the fact that you are trying. And here's one final piece of advice before we close today. Make pronunciation practice a joyful part of your daily life. Sing English songs out loud, read poems with expression, play with tongue twisters, talk to yourself in the mirror with a big smile. When you bring joy into practice, your motivation grows and your learning becomes lighter, brighter, more human. Remember, language is not only about rules and sounds, it's about connection, expression, and joy. So, my dear friends, as we reach the end of today's journey, I want to leave you with this heartfelt message. Your voice is powerful. Your voice carries your dreams, your hopes, your stories. Improving your pronunciation step by step is not about erasing who you are, but about giving your voice the wings to fly farther, to reach more hearts, to touch more lives. Every sound you practice, every word you repeat, every moment you choose courage over silence, it all matters. And I promise you, if you keep going, one day you will look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Keep speaking, keep shining, and come back to me in the next episode of Easy English Talk Podcast. I'll be here cheering for you every step of the way.